Hey everyone, good morning and welcome back to the Hearthstone ladder. My name is Rooster and today we're finally playing a deck I would actually recommend people playing on the ladder. Because over the past few days, few weeks even, well, not exactly weeks, but we've been playing some pretty cool decks, I will say. But they did not really turn out to be all that successful against what people are usually playing when you're actually facing people in ranked mode. So, Midrange Shaman has always, well, in this season at the very least, has always been a force to reckon with. A force to be reckoned with. It can deal with most of whatever your opponents are throwing out there. Hunter might not be the easiest of opponents, but we can definitely stand a very decent chance here. I don't think the Tuskar Totemic is actually good enough. We're going to need some early game here, and we do have enough early game that I feel reasonably confident that we'll have something to do by turn 3, even if we do throw everything away over there. And getting the Totemic back is not the worst of situations. I would like to get some early interaction though, but we'll have to see about that. Let's see what our opponent has to offer here. Was that really loud, by the way? I'm sorry if that's the case. It is a tad loud for me, I guess. Are we making a totem or just going for the Argent Squire? Argent Squire is not the worst right now. Could also Rockbiter down the bat. That's actually not the worst idea. I could, yeah, because I don't want... It feels like a bit of a waste, but keeping the Squire safe here does have its own merit, I think. And making sure the shield does not get popped by that, I think is a valuable asset to us. So if a hunter coins out something, it's going to be an... Oh, I was going to say an animal companion, but the eagle horn bow also might be a thing. In that case, I'm a little worried about our health total, but we'll have to keep that in mind, and there's not really a whole lot that we can do about that. So this is absolutely fine, and will let us trade into most of what our opponent will throw out here. Really keeping in mind that our opponent may be playing a very aggressive deck, so this thing from below will have to do some work. But it should definitely be capable of doing that. I'm a little scared of an explosive trap right now, so might want to keep that in mind and just... we could get a totem buff out there, or just another Argent Squire, I'm not sure about that. Let's actually... No, don't mind this. Throwing a buff on the Totemic, is that a really bad idea? I don't think so. And if he wants to actually play something next turn, then we can actually trade some guys in, which is not... it's not horrible. Let's actually go for this. And we'll let him play something, giving us a chance to trade the 1/1 in, perhaps. Or just going face next turn, starting with one of the squires, of course. I'm not sure whether flooding the board is exactly the greatest idea here. It appears to not be. That's really aggressive, sir. What if I had a lightning storm here? How would you feel about yourself right about then? Well, it does give us the opportunity to at least trade this guy in. Not the worst of ideas. I'm really expecting explosive trap by this point, so let's just test for that right now. And that allows us to still trade in the Argent Squires, which is not the worst idea, and then make a totem, make this guy here. It's not as terrible as it seems, but we could be better off, I guess. I don't know about that. Yeah, we could definitely be better off. So for the turn 8, we could be facing Colder Wild, so we kind of wanna trade. We kind of want to get rid of all of his small beasts at least, but that should be no problem for next turn, I think. It's got a kill command for that one, and then a quick shot for our 5/2, and we could be in a little bit of trouble, I guess. I'm going to have to Fire Elemental next turn. He is actually trading himself. But not looking too good here. I'm expecting a little bit of burst to come out, and don't feel too good about that situation. There's not much we can do about that. Hunters have been cutting Unleash the Hounds from their decks, but hello there. Are we dead? We're dead. Well, yeah, that happens sometimes. That does happen sometimes, and at least it's a quick game, you have to think to yourself. But, yeah, the Unleash kinda was a mistake, I feel. That was our bad, wasn't it? If we were putting him on an aggressive mindset, then those aggressive decks will likely have double Unleash in their deck, so flooding the board against an explosive trap, probably not the best idea. I'm not sure what would be the best way to go around that. Maybe... did we have anything big to play at that point? I don't know. It's curious. I'll have to think about that for a little bit. Because there was nothing on the board and we would just lose our totemic and the 1/1 totem, I guess? As well as the Divine Shield on our Argent Squire. But then the trap would have been gone and then we could have built up the board again. So we could have still played the Argent Squire afterwards and hero powered. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, this is a much better start, I feel. So let's throw away these cards. Keeping the totemic is not... that's not very strange, is it? No. So that's much better against what could again be an aggressive hunter deck. Actually, having a 1-drop is a big boon. It's not something we can count on, but it is not that unlikely. We do have Argent Squires and Tunnel Truck, so could be pretty good for us. Let's think about how to deal with this. We could go for the 50-50 on the Flame Juggler. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of that. Could go for a Lightning Storm, ridiculous as that may be. That is actually terrible, I think. How about we just go for the 50-50? Or go for the Taunt Totem? Not sure about that. I think I like the 50-50 here. He's pretty much forced to trade into our 1-3 anyway, so... are we... I think I'm coining out the Argent Squire, just to be able to get rid of the Frog next turn if it trades into our 1-3, which it will. That actually gives us more options for next turn, so I think that's going to be the approach. And we can even play the totemic before trading, which is going to be good for us. He can quick shot, gets a 50-50 on the Argent Squire. Still not the worst situation. And the totemic is going to be pretty good here, I feel.
Did you bring some fish?
It might actually soak a... oh, that's not a bad one. We are still trading here. So the benefit is not really... oh, that's really bad. Well, yeah, that happens sometimes. There's not much you can do about that. That was a 1-in-4, and we did what we could to preserve it. But that really was the one target. Well, I guess it would have been pretty good for him if it hit the 5-2 also. But I'm kind of counting on him to have a way to get rid of our 5-2 still. Not entirely sure about that. He could go for a Leok, I guess. Still not that great for him. Alright, going for another totemic here, pretty sure about that. So let's see what we get here. Alright, that is also something for him to be worried about, so that's okay. Not getting the best of luck here, I guess. That's another Unleash, but that's fine. We can trade into both of our totemics, I guess, so he's going to use his face for that, so... at least doesn't have a trap, but I will admit it's not looking too good for us. Traditionally, hunters have been pretty bad for shamans, I guess. So, well, I don't like this at all. I think we're just going to have to pass here, because I cannot afford to use a lightning storm on this. So not with only 2 damage on the field now. Especially since it doesn't even clear off the minions. That's actually kind of ridiculous. So, does he have anything else to do? He does not. Does not want to commit a big guy, and I can't really blame him, since we didn't really commit anything here. We could go for a Fire Elemental, but I feel kind of better about the Feral Spirit, and perhaps even a Lightning Storm, although that will neuter us for next turn a little bit. What's he going to have on turn 7? We will still have 3 mana, so I don't hate it. And Fire Elemental is going to be pretty bad against Deadly Shot, so actually this may look wasteful, but it's a better Lightning Storm than it would have been last turn. He's going to need pretty much double Leok. That doesn't seem too likely. Pretty much another bow and then some kind of attack boost. So not really expecting that right now. I'm basically putting him on. Oh well, I could be wrong, of course. So we are facing a more aggressive Hunter deck here. But this is fine. That at least means there's not something bigger coming out, and he hasn't dealt a whole lot of damage to us here. But the 3 mana for this turn is going to be awkward again, because I'm not willing to commit a Lightning Storm here. He's been clearing our board quite diligently. So Call the Wild over here, that means we cannot actually... Well, we can clear the Huffer and the small guy, so I guess that's fine. But still taking a lot of damage next turn, so I'm not quite sure. We can't combine it with the Fire Elemental, so I guess we have to commit the Thunderblood Valiant to the board, or we could Lightning Storm and Hex. How about we Hex the Misha and then... That's kind of reasonable, I guess. We could at least go for the Spell Power Totem. This always needs to happen. Oh, I guess we should have hexed first in that case. That was a mistake. Yeah, we do still. It's kind of awkward that he still has a taunt on the board right now. And actually something to attack with, so that's kind of bad. That was certainly a mistake, but let's see if we get punished here. We actually do, because we don't have a Lightning Storm left. So it's going to be really awkward to get rid of that Tuner Rhino over there. Why is Tuner Rhino in the same deck as Abusive Sergeant? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That card is dangerous though. I think we're pretty dead anyway. Yeah, so Hunters are pretty bad for a Shaman like this. I guess maybe Aggro Shaman could have a chance against the Hunter deck, but Midrange Shaman pretty much gets hard countered by Unleash the Hounds, and well, a lot of decks get countered by Call the Wild, actually. That card is really rough to deal with. We were doing actually quite fine up until the Call the Wild turn, because he wasn't really putting any pressure. That Abusive Sergeant, I don't understand. That would indicate a really aggressive deck, and Tundra Rhino would indicate a slower Hunter deck, so that the combination of those cards doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Feels like a bit of a duality in the deck, but at least we're facing another opponent right here. So let's see how we can deal again. We can deal with Druid. Classes can be awkward. So we've got Hex against big stuff. We've got Lightning Storm against small stuff, and we don't have the greatest curve. So that is one potential problem that I'm seeing right here. Could coin out a Totem Golem here, but that's going to be awkward since we don't really have anything else to do on the coming turn, nothing to trade into, so we're basically just trading for face damage, which isn't really what you're trying to do here. If we Totem Golem the next turn, then at least we will have seen what the Druid's up to, so that's kind of good. Up against an aggressive Druid deck, I'm not sure whether that's good for us. But the Totem Golem should deal with the Panther nicely when it gets unstealthed, so that's good. And we could use the Rockbiter to preserve some health on the Golem, which is not the worst idea I've ever had. pretty much going face here, alright. Going for the Flame Juggler here, or the Tuskar Totemic. I think I like the Tuskar Totemic here. Pointing that out, we'll have 4 mana next turn, so we could just drop the Taunt. I think I like that idea. Of course, should have waited for the totem first, but I don't think it'll matter too much. Getting the healing totem is nice, though. Against aggressive Druid decks, I think we're pretty well matched. Just as long as we get a Lightning Storm before they get the ability to swarm the board with the Violet Teacher and then kill us with a Savage Roar. Although taunts will also function decently against that. I think from below we'll at least get rid of 2 Savage Roared 1/1 tokens. And in that case that's probably decent enough. If we can get some semblance of board control at the end of the coming few turns, then I think we're in okay shape. So let's see what this Druid has got. If he's intent on going face with this, then we could be... Even if he trades here, we still got the Flame Tongue Totem, so that's pretty good. We could also go for a 50-50 on the Flame Juggler, which is not awful. Makes a 3-2, so we might actually want to Flame Tongue and then trade, or Flame Tongue Rockbiter, that could work. If we Flame Tongue into that and then drop the Flame Juggler, could be kind of awful in some occasions. If the Flame Juggler misses, I don't think I want to run that risk.
I wonder.
Do we have any other good options though? I guess we could Rockbiter that one. So we could Flame Tongue and Rockbiter, Rockbiter that one, trade the totem into the 5/1 and hope to get something decent. We can do that. Let's just drop the Flame Tongue and see what we get here. That is pretty good. Okay, so we could just leave it alone and still go for the... No, that's not gonna happen. Okay, so we're going to Rockbiter. Kill this, kill this. You can hero power down the Totemic, but that's okay with me. Thing from below getting cheaper and cheaper, that's pretty good. Don't have a great play with that next turn, but if he swipes here, that pretty much resets the board and gives it back to us. So that's good for us. Could just go for it with Thunderbluff Valiant on an empty board. I'm not sure that's the greatest plan against a Druid, but it could be decent. And then next turn we've got Flame Juggler, Hero Power, Thing from Below. I kinda like that. And Druids won't have a great way to deal with this right now. Dropping that on an empty board is actually pretty sick. We could also do something with... actually we don't have a good Primal Fusion next turn. But dropping the Thing from Below here is going to be pretty good for us. So, just going for this one. Still want to do that first. Totem and Thing from Below on the far... Let's just drop it here. There we go. So he's going to have to trade this into the 5/5, which keeps our Totemic safe for another turn, and then we should get some pretty good trades with our totems, I think. So unless he's got a great answer, which I don't expect him to. He could have Wrath? Let me think. No, I think even the Primal Fusion next turn is going to be pretty good, I think. Could just Fire Elemental though. Kind of want to press the Hero Power button though. So I could Hero Power Doomhammer, which is not the worst idea. Yeah, you're going to have to trade into the 5/5 regardless. Wrath is not really that spectacular, but I guess he could Wrath and Living Roots. But that still doesn't let him get rid of the Valiant, so that's good for us. I guess he could Wrath and Living Roots the Valiant. That could work. So he's getting 2 1/1s here, and then Power of the Wild on his entire board. Okay, so that leaves him with a 6/1 on the field, and that is something... Oh, that's a good top deck. That is a really good top deck. Yeah. So, should we fish for a Spell Power Totem? Are we still able to deal with Fandral if we roll a 2? If we roll a 2, then we can Primal Fusion... Primal Fusion doesn't cut it. So we would have to Doom. Doomhammer doesn't work? Wait. Yeah, I guess we can Primal Fusion on the Totemic. That's not good. Still a pretty good situation, so I don't mind. And getting a spell power here is pretty safe. So that most likely means we can trade this off. And don't have to waste the Primal Fusion here, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty sick roll off the spell power totem. And also 4 damage on Fandral, that's really good. That is really, really good. Another, that's a Wrath and a Hero Power, so he wants to clear the board. Alright, well. I'm surprised he doesn't draw a card with the Wrath, because, well, clearing the 2/1 Spell Power Totem is never going to be that important, I think, and he's rapidly running out of options. So do we just fire Elemental Face? I think we do. I don't wanna Doomhammer right now because it might run into a Harrison. You never know what people run. Never know when to expect that. So I'll run it into a top deck Harrison, but I don't wanna take any unnecessary risks basically right now. So let's be careful about taking too much damage actually. Okay, so we can do Primal Fusion for +2/+2. That's actually pretty good. Want a totem first or totemic first? I actually want to get 1 taunt totem, and that would be fine. Let's go with this. Do we want to Doomhammer here? I don't know. If we Primal Fusion on this and Doomhammer, then we can kill this and probably what comes out of it. And then kill this and it gets healed up. That's good enough, right? That is actually good enough, so let's check what we get here. We're taking a bit of damage here, but this is pretty much the best move we got here. Because his top deck is very unlikely to deal with the Fire Elemental. So we've got a pretty good situation set up. There we go. Clearing his board really takes away his options. Don't really want to leave either any minion alive there. Because even with just a Savage Roar top deck, he could get a decent trade into one of our minions. So yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so Druids, well, at least Beast Druids don't look so bad, but you really do want to get a Lightning Storm at some point. I think with any result in that Lightning Storm turn, we could have had a very decent chance at this game, but we really did need one of those, because if a Druid gets to make a bunch of tokens in one turn, and gets them out of immediate trading range, then you could be in trouble. Let me think. I don't think Totemic is good enough. If we're up against 2, then I kind of like the Feral Spirit, and I will also keep the Rockbiter, but I don't think the Totemic is worth keeping here. Maybe I shouldn't have kept the Feral Spirit, because I kind of really need something to play on turn 2. Yeah. If you want any card on turn 3 after you've hero powered on turn 2, it's Feral Spirit though, so I will admit that one. And an opponent that does not play anything on turn 1 is good news for us, because that likely means it's not 2, especially if he taps on turn 2. Okay, so we'll be careful with this hex here, but that's good news. Good news, everyone. We will Feral Spirit here. If he wants to Hellfire this, then he's absolutely welcome to. Does let him grab the initiative, because the only thing we have for next turn is hero power, but that's okay. He would have to coin into Hellfire though, so even though we only get a totem, then he only gets 4 mana to do his thing. Could still be okay. He could actually still be Zoo, that's kind of ridiculous. Interesting. Do I Rockbiter that one down? We could actually just hit it and then... he always gets a trade, basically. I didn't expect a Flame Juggler here. I think we just kill that, right? Then what do we do next turn? We've got 5. 5's pretty good. Let's just kill this. Could be a really slow start for a Zoo deck, but I can't really imagine him not having a 1-drop in this case, so I think it's just a random Flamewaker in a Reno Warlock deck. Not really sure what to expect here. But the Rockbiter here is not unreasonable, I think. Although I could have just gone face and played a totem, because the Flame Juggler didn't have a chance to trade into any of our minions. I don't know about that. Do I want to hex this? I kinda do, because I did top deck another, because I did draw another hex. I don't want to overcommit, and I kinda like toteming up. So sure, let's go for that. I don't hate hexing this. Could be a really greedy Warlock deck, and that means the hex is kind of a waste, but we're not running Earthshock, so the perfect answer is not gonna happen. And that thing is going to eat a lot of our minions if we leave it unchecked, so that's not unreasonable, I think. So for next turn, most likely going to be Tunnel Trug into Doomhammer, depending on what our opponent plays, of course. Do we hit that twice? We might very well hit that twice with the Doomhammer. We haven't taken a lot of damage yet. And the other options would include unnecessarily flooding the board, I think. And the Doomhammer, well, we could be running it into a Harrison, of course, but we're not going to live in fear of that for the entire game. If it happens, right? And if he's playing Ooze or playing Harrison, then it's going to hit our Doomhammer regardless. So I don't feel too bad about doing this. Oh, I definitely should have played the Tunnel Trug first, though. In that case, I don't think the Tunnel Trug is even worth it right now. It's not really... Yeah, I don't think it's worth it anymore. If we could immediately buff it up to 3, then that would have made sense, but... I don't think just playing the Trug... Yeah, it would have just ran into Hellfire, so now we do have something to do over here. And there's the Ooze. That is unfortunate, but it was going to happen regardless, so I don't feel too terrible about it, but yeah, that does always hurt. So could go for the Tuskar Totemic into... well, we'll see what we get. We can build a board next turn, so that's okay. I don't mind trading the Totemic into the Ooze, that's probably fine. And getting the Totem is pretty nice here. I think I'll go for the Trog in the same turn and then Lightning Storming. Which might very well be next turn, actually. Let's see what we get. 8 mana, might be something like a Ragnaros. And it is, indeed. So we're going to have to commit our second Hex at this point, I think. Do we hex into Lightning Storm? That's not the worst idea. And then we Tunnel Trug. That doesn't leave us any possibility of Think From Below or Hero Power, but that's probably okay. Just need a little bit of pressure, and that's probably going to be enough. Never going to get a really good Lightning Storm against a hand lock anyway, so I guess this is fine. We're going to draw a couple cards starting next turn, so this is okay. I'm not terribly excited about it, of course, but at what point will you be? He did coin that out, so another 8 mana. Well, he's not going to board wipe this immediately, I think. Might just drop something huge again, and then by that point I do think it's time to start going face. Does he have a Mortal Coil here? He does have a Mortal Coil. That is unfortunate, but I think we can start going... We can start taunting up at this point. Could have a Shadow Flame, but can't really play around that, I think. So let's just go for this hero power. Do we want to commit to 5-5? I do actually think we need to commit to 5-5 at this point. Because otherwise he can just easily clear it with the Dread Infernal and does not need to commit the Shadow Flame, which, well, if he has it, we do want him to commit it onto this board before we drop the Thunder Buffalion, basically. And he kinda needs to deal with the mana totem, so yeah. Yeah, that's it's probably okay.
So many.
If he Shadow Flames here, he won't have too much of a board because, well, hitting this first and then Shadow Flaming doesn't really do anything. He could Siphon Soul this and start going face, actually. That worries me a little bit. Though he might risk dying if he does that, actually. So is this a Reno turn? Or is he desperate for a Shadow Flame at this point? I don't know. Okay, so if he does that, he's likely trading into the Trog in that case. Ooh, okay. I guess that works, but that's still... Yeah, I guess that works. I think that is a sign that we should start going wide. Could have a Twisting Nether, but would he have committed that last turn? I don't know. I think we just go wide and see if we can do things that way.
Did you bring some fish?
Sure. Let's see what we get here first, of course. Do we really want to commit that, though? We actually kind of do. We need to finish him quickly. I don't think we have enough pressure if we... Well, the Taunt Totem does help, I will admit. We could go face here and just use one more totem and then see if we can preserve it for next turn. I think I'm playing it a little careful here. That's not unreasonable. Sure. He will have his board wipes, or he will have his Reno, and that's okay. That's a Demon Wrath. So does he? I think he has to trade here. Although that's not necessarily good for us, because he does still have 5 mana left. Would we have been better off if we used the Thunder Bluff here? I don't know. I don't really think so. So this is always going to kill that, because he does get the easy trade here. We're always going to totem, and if this is a taunt, I think I'm committing the Tunnel Shark too. Now let's see if this works. Kinda running out of options here, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe we did play this too carefully. Maybe we just shouldn't have committed the Doomhammer. But if he did not have an ooze in that occasion, I think we would have been in a pretty strong position. So there's something to be said for both accounts. Can we kill him this turn? The answer is going to be no, but... So I think we have to commit the Thunder Bluff and hope for a taunt, first of all. Well, are we going to be like that?
There is a lot at stake here.
I think we just commit the whole bunch at this point, right? Let's see what kind of totem we get. That's going to be quite important. We can Primal Fusion for 2. That's not going to be too relevant. He's always going to have something on the board. Does he have... Well, if he only has Leroy, then we are dead. How much other than that does he need to win with just the Mountain Giant, though? Can we win if we commit the Mountain Giant? If we commit to killing the Mountain Giant here? It's what I'm worried about. I think we can. I think we kind of have to. Let's go with this. If he doesn't have an easy way to kill the Flame Tongue Totem, I think that could be our out. If he has Twisting Nether here, then we're pretty much done. Yeah. He could have hit face for 3 here. Why did he not? Why did he not hit face for 3 there? That was absolutely unnecessary. Well, I think we lost this one. We can pretty safely assume that that much, but we don't have any hexes left, and he's got some pretty strong cards. But he's low, so we're going to need to build a board, and that's not going to be easy. We can give it our best shot, though. Let's see how far we get with this. It means he cannot clear the 7/7, so if he has no removal, then even Bloodlust doesn't kill him. And we don't have any card draw.
I have no time.
What could we get for next turn? I don't know. Does he Shadow Flame that? If he also has his Shadow Flame, then I guess, yeah. Yeah, then we're done. That did cost him all of his board wipes. So if he had one less than that, then I think we could have done it. If he didn't have a Twisting Nether on the turn where he did, then I guess a Sylvanas Shadow Flame could have also done it. I'm not sure. I do think I should have played that more aggressively, I think. Maybe committed more to the board. Especially against the early board wipes, you should probably think about committing minions that don't die to Shadow Flame immediately, for example. I don't know, it's kind of tough. It is actually kind of tough. And we did have a slow start, so not too amazing for us. Against the Warrior, I don't think we can keep any of these cards now. Although a fast start doesn't mean as much against the Warrior, because if they have a Fiery War Axe, that really ruins your fast start. So the point is kind of gone at that point. Could be facing a really aggressive Warrior here, or he's just priming the axe. Was he really planning on going face with that? I don't know about that. Let's just totem and see where we go from there. We've got some pretty good turns coming up, and let's see. That could just be okay. That was not a. That wasn't a mistake. You can't convince me that that was a mistake. We kinda have to face that one, don't we? It's going to make our turn so poor now. If we totemic here, then he does get a trade, but then we totemic again and we rockbiter that. That might be fine. Is it going to be better than rockbitering in this turn and then hero powering? I think we have to take the risk. If we rockbiter now, we're just too slow. If he wants to take the time to kill our minions here, then that's probably fine with me. But again, again, not looking too good for us. Right from the start. That's actually really awkward. Okay, 2 Fiery War Axes. Upgrade, and he's gonna go face from this point onwards, I guess. So we're going to have to take that one, I think. Not really any other options. So let's go with the totemic. If we get a rock, we could actually rockbite this one into there. That is probably worth it. That is much better than taking an additional 5, I think. Yeah. That's basically his loss for not taking the trade last turn. Which is actually pretty meaningful. He's clearing our minions. What does he have against... Okay, that's fine. So, I think we rockbited that one then. Can we totem here? We could Tunnel Trog. Tunnel Trog, Hero Power, Rockbiter. What's Hero Power first? We're always using Hero Power this turn, right? And we're always rockbitering that one, and I guess that means we're Tunnel Trogging. Oh, hello. Could we please? Thank you.
Guide me.
So we're killing that one. And I guess if we can convince him to use the axe on this, then that's fine. We could also commit a Flame Tongue Totem. Is that better? He's only got 3 cards. And the Tunnel Shrug isn't really doing anything. Let's just commit a Flame Tongue Totem and see if he takes the bait. Any weapon attack that isn't going towards our face is going to be good for us. So we can Fireball Elemental something next turn, so if he has another Korkron, for instance, that's actually pretty good for us. Because he's likely to want to clear this. He's going face with the weapon, alright. Might still be in trouble here. Let's not forget about that, but the Fire Elemental does some work, at least. It's the best we can do. So let's see, he's got 7. Well, he can't kill us this turn, but we really should start taunting up. So I'm going to need a thing from below pretty quickly, I think. Or start building up totems so we can reliably get our taunts out. That could also work. So we're going to have to hex something, but that's okay. I don't mind hexing something here. And then we trade the Fire Elemental into the 4/4. We could actually Flame Tongue Totem to hex that one and trade into the other one. That's going to be better. Do we have a taunt in that case? We don't, but he only has an Acolyte. Is that okay? So we can Flame Tongue, we can hex, Flame Tongue Hex, and Hero Power. That is fine. Flame Tongue Hex, Hero Power seems okay to me, and a Taunt Totem is really good right now. Sure. Let's take this easy. So hex that one, trade into this one. I could have just done it the other way around, couldn't I? Yes, I could. But this is okay. We're not low enough to be in trouble if he gets Mortal Strike, so that's good. Let's see what his answers are. If his answer is going to consist of Arcanite Reaper face, then that's good for us. Oh, he really needs his cards, doesn't he? Okay, well, we're going to have to kill him quickly in that case. We're always going to have to kill him quickly. We've got 10, so we're going to need a taunt soon. Or need to set up a kill soon. Do we have a better chance of getting a taunt? I don't think we do, so we'd better set up this kill ASAP, I think.
There is a lot at stake.
1 in 3, that's a good one. That is a really good one. Okay, do we kill the Acolyte? I don't think we can kill the Acolyte, right? We've got 14 damage here. Are we using the Primal Fusion, or are we using... I think killing this is going to be more important, right? Yeah. He could have ways to buff that. He could have double Mortal Strike, and I think this is going to be more important than the alternative for next turn. The Primal Fusion would have dealt 3 damage now. I don't think it's going to make a difference, to be perfectly fair here. So what ways would he have to kill us right here? Basically a Charger into the 2/2 Taunt, and 1 Mortal Strike would do it. But he's used both of his Korkrons. I guess a 2/1 Pirate, a South Sea... Okay, well, we won that one, that's good. Yeah, Hunters don't seem too good. Hunters are kind of a problem. But otherwise, this deck, well, as usual, deals quite nicely and has a chance against most decks. Aggro Shaman might be better in some occasions, might not be better in others, but Midrange Shaman is always a good deck to fall back upon, and I don't hate this list. Might be worth replacing the Doomhammer with an Alakir if you happen to have that one. Because I'm not the biggest fan of Doomhammer as a finisher right now. Even though it may give you some free games, it might also give your opponent some free games if they destroy it without it getting too much value. So with that, that is enough for today. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.